So one last question before you leave, Senator Ritchie, and again, this is for all three of you, but I'll let you answer first. This question came in, will legislators vote no on the governor's budget if it does not adequately fund education equitably?
Well, I will say that it's an important part of the budget, and I hope that it's addressed, and I hope that we're going to be able to drive more money to the areas that I represent, the areas that are struggling. But if you're asking me overall if I'm going to vote no on the budget because it doesn't address the problem, I would have to tell you honestly, you have to take the package as a whole. And I probably, if everything else was in line, would have to vote yes on the budget, even if the school funding was not addressed.
Okay, thanks.
I have, and I'm prepared to vote against the budget. And as Senator Ritchie pointed out, and perhaps you already know this, but we don't go line by line. We get the budget in 5 or 6 huge lumps. For example, I think school aid and library aid are in the same package together, and I did vote, I believe last year or the year before, against that portion of the bill, and I made a statement on the floor that I thought the aid distribution formula was unfair to the small rural schools, and that's why I was voting against it. I could have papered my house from top to bottom with the letters I got from the library people. They thought I was voting against them, and I had to explain this comes in one huge chunk, and you have to make it. But I did, and I did vote against it, and I have to be prepared to do it again.
You know, the real test of if you're fighting for something isn't how you vote necessarily on the floor. A budget is a document that is arrived at through a tremendous amount of compromise. We all have to work together to get anything done, and I do not conduct myself in a manner that only acts to polarize people and to push kind of the perpetuation of extremes within the legislature. I think we all see the product of acting in extreme manners, and when a compromise is struck, you know, we certainly have gotten things for it, and you know, notwithstanding suggestions that the Assembly isn't the most aggressive fighter for education in the budget, we are, and historically have been, for poor, whether you're in a rural area or an urban area. We get what we can get, and we fight to the last line is printed in that budget. So I don't think your litmus test ought to be whether or not you vote yes or no. If you vote no, all you're going to do is have people, as a member of the majority, voting no, all I'm going to do is alienate my colleagues that if we didn't get everything that we want, I'm still going to need to continue to partner with them in the future to continue to make progress. Other members of the chambers can vote differently, and that is a different message that they send. But I don't think you should expect, you know, voting against it, because that's not going to be productive to our overall goal. We're going to get everything that we can on this issue. It is my priority issue. I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. 4-year-old is in pre-K, the 3-year-old will be in pre-K next year. So you know I'm in this for at least I'm in it for a long time. Yeah, I get it. And so there's different reasons for voting different ways. I don't think the litmus test ought to be whether or not you vote yes or no on the floor. I think it's, are we making forward progress, and are we building the alliances that we need to continue to make progress. I don't think you all are under the impression that we're going to be able to completely rectify this situation in 3 months.
Well, I have to respectfully disagree, and maybe it's a matter of perspective, minority and majority, but it's my belief if you advocate for something strongly to be included in the budget, and it's not in the budget, that you're almost compelled to vote against it. I think you may just be making a point among your colleagues, but at least you're making a point.